in too. All right. Great. Nice to have two people here. Nice to teach people too. Yeah. All right. So, awesome. I don't think there's anyone joining us at home, but this is being recorded in case anyone wants to watch later. So we're just going to get started in a comfortable seated position. If you have things that you want to add under your seat, you know, if you have a towel, blanket, block, anything like that, feel free to use whatever props you have. Not required, but if they support your practice. So once you have a comfortable seat, rest your hands on your knees. And for today, decide which position feels right. So some days we need to feel a little more grounded. We're feeling just kind of, you know, all the stuff is kind of going on. We need to kind of facilitate a more grounded sensation. So slow down and help that. If you feel a little bit more rooted, a little bit more connected to your seat, to the ground below you. And then if it's a day where you're just kind of feeling a little sluggish and a little more energy, sometimes turning the palms up so that you feel a little bit more lifted can help you to kind of gain that quality if that's what you need. So just kind of play with that in different positions and just note what you feel connected to right now. So choosing a position for your hands, you can always change it later if you need to. And then make sure before you kind of settle into stillness and close your eyes, make sure you're sitting tall. So you have a nice long spine. Your shoulders are relaxed, so they're not crunching up toward the ears. They're drawing a little bit further back and down. And then the chin is parallel to the ground. And then the top of the head feels like it's just gently stretching up to meet the ceiling. And then once you have all of that, just find that stillness. So find that nice, easy quality to your seated posture. And then start to just kind of become aware of your next inhale and your next exhale. Notice if the inhale is as long as the exhale as long as the inhale, or notice if you're favoring one versus the other. If you have the tendency to stretch out the inhalation and then think of the exhalation as an afterthought, or vice versa, if you take a short quick inhale and then that exhale just lingers much longer than what you've taken in. And just seeing if you can even out the breath. So inhales to exhales. Just keeping the breath a little bit fuller, so that more aware breath that's a little bit bigger perhaps than you would normally do if you weren't bringing your attention to it. Then go ahead and take your next inhale through the nose. Nice, big, long, full inhale. When you're ready to exhale, open your mouth and give an audible sigh. And then empty the lungs completely. Do that again. Inhale through the nose. Bring even more breath into the body. Then open your mouth. Let it go as you sigh. Let's do that once more. Inhale through the nostrils. Nice, steady, even breath in. Open your mouth. Let it go. All the air and peace from the body. And then just seal the lips and continue in and out through the nose. Just noting how your body felt with doing that open mouth exhale. That allows you to get rid of a little tension perhaps, little excess heat if you feel a little too warm. Sometimes that allows us to kind of let go and calm and cool the body. And just keeping that in mind, if you need to revisit that open mouth exhale at any time, find yourself getting a little too tense or maybe even holding the breath a little more. Just allow your breath to feel like it can kind of move your body, relax your body, calm your body. And if Your hands are facing down for a moment. Just turn the palms up so the backs of the hands rest on the knees. And then let your thumb and index finger touch lightly. So it's like you're making a little gentle okay sign with your hands. And the rest of the fingers relax. You're just lightly tapping thumb and first finger. And just continue with that steady breath. Just noticing if this little mudra, this little connection of these fingers allows the body to once again feel a little calmer. This is a nice way to facilitate relaxation response in the body. Just exploring different tools, different ways to cultivate different sensations in the body. You may find something works for you, something may not work for you, may work for someone else. So just exploring, just being open to different techniques, different ideas. And go ahead and release the thumb and first finger, let the palms gently open. Continuing to sit tall and breathe. Let's move that breath. Let's feel it in different parts of the body. Place one hand over your low belly. And then place your other hand behind your back. The back of the hand resting at maybe the lower back or somewhere between the lower and mid back. So just below the bottom tips of the ribs. And then as you breathe, fill up both hands evenly with breath. So let that low belly fill up from below, and let the breath move a little bit more into the back body as well, so that you almost feel the back ribs lifting up off the waist a little. Maybe helps you to sit a little bit taller and feel a little bit longer through the spine. Take a couple more breaths like that, breathing evenly into the hand in front and behind you. And then keeping the breath there, let's add on, move your hands to the sides of your body, working them up to hold your rib cage. So maybe put the thumbs to the back ribs and then wrap the rest of the fingers around the sides of the ribs. And then as you inhale, bring that breath in low from the belly to the back body and let it move into the hands so that you actually feel your hands expand outward and the rib cage moves into the hands. And exhale, complete. Do that 2 or 3 more times so that you're breathing low and then lifting up into the sides and moving outward as well. You're just creating a little bit more space in which to breathe. And then place one hand over your chest. Lay the other hand right on top of that, so you're just holding your heart. And then breathing on the inhale from low, fill up the belly, the back ribs, the sides of the waist, all the way up into the upper chest so that you're breathing and lifting the heart to the hands. And then exhale completely. And then take about 5 more breaths like that. So think of these as really full body breaths. So you're trying to fill up every part of this container of your torso. And then even moving beyond just this container, let the breath feel like it's expanding into each part of your body. Now that you've found a little bit more space to breathe, go ahead and place the palms together in front of your chest now, so the fingers come up toward the chin. Rest the thumbs right at the sternum or breastbone. Then pressing the palms together, sit up a little taller, feel the top of the head stretch to the ceiling, soften the shoulders down the back. And then keeping the spine long, Start to slowly draw the chin toward the chest. So you're bowing your head in toward the hands. And then release the hands back onto the knees. Palms up or palms down. And then very slowly open your eyes. So you're just looking down at the ground in front of you. Just continue gazing down at the ground. Start to stretch your arms out to the sides. Let the palms face down for now. Have the hands shoulder height. And then really extend through the fingertips. Try to get as much length through both arms, like you're being pulled in two different directions. Continue to sit tall. And then very slowly, begin to rotate your palms forward. As you do that, start to lift the head very slowly. So it's a little lever action. Your palms are turning, your head is lifting. Eventually the palms turn up, and then the chin starts to point up, the head leans back. And then take a couple more breaths like this as you look up near the ceiling or that point where the wall and the ceiling meet, and the palms face the ceiling. And you're sitting even taller, reaching the hands further apart. And then pretending you have two heavy weights on those hands without letting the shoulders hunch up at all. Push the palms higher and higher above shoulder height. Maybe even lean the head back a little further, pointing the chin towards the ceiling. Stop when the shoulders would need to hunch or the elbows would need to bend. Take one more big inhale, sit a little taller, reach a little higher. And then as you exhale, bend the elbow. Just draw the hands down to the heart center. Bring the gaze straight forward. Let's release the hands. Switch the way the legs are crossed. Remain seated for a moment here. And then as you find, once again, that same tall, comfortable seat. Yes, feel free to take any water breaks or bathroom breaks as needed. All right, so finding a comfortable seat once again. Bringing the hands back to the heart. Interlace the fingers for the chest. And then turn the heels of the hands forward. And then push the palms away from the chest, straighten the arms with the fingers placed. Once the arms are straight, draw the shoulders into their sockets if you sort of hunch forward. Keep the back flat as you inhale, begin to elevate the hands above the heart, finding your stopping point. So it may be lower or higher for some than others, so shoulders don't hunch up, elbows don't bend. Take another inhale. With your exhale, begin a slow twist to the right. So you're just turning your upper body over to face the right side of the room, and mount to a big twist. Just feel it move all the way up the body. When you turn to a comfortable position, unclasp the fingers, stretch the arms out, and then begin to reach for the ground. Take your left hand to the right knee. Place the right hand behind you. Maybe palm or fingertips. Push into that back hand, so a little taller, and maybe turn just a half an inch further to the right. So you want to maintain a lot of length through the spine before you begin to rotate. So twists happen with a little bit more room. Take another breath here. And then with your exhale, turn back to face forward. And then take the hands into the heart again. Then place the other thumb in front and then reconnect the fingers the opposite way. And then do the same thing, push, flexing the palms, hands away from the chest, shoulders in the sockets. Long spine as you inhale, begin to elevate the hands, shoulders out of the ears, palms push away from you, maybe a little further to the ceiling. One more inhale. And then exhale, slow turning over to the left. Just finding the place where it's not a comfortable stopping point. And then unconnect the hands, open the arms out really wide before you reach the ground. So crossing opposite knee, left hand pushes the ground away to prop you up to sit tall. And then maybe just a little more rotation, just breathing in and out. And then exhale. Release, turn to face forward. And then let's come off of our seats. Let's come to hands and knees. So you're going to make your way to a tabletop position. If at any time you need to place something under the knees for support, towel, or blanket, set that up. Let's start with an even tabletop position so the wrists are right under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And then as you inhale, pull the chest slightly forward between the upper arms and gaze ahead. And then with your exhale, push the ground away, straight arms round the upper back. Pause here in your cat. Let your head hang, just gazing toward your belly. Feel like you could dome that place between the shoulder blades even more. More stretch in between the shoulders as you find that upper back arch. And then slowly inhale, draw the chest forward, look slightly ahead again without overdoing that lower back arch. And then exhale, find breath again. Nice round. And then do that a few times with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling between cat and cow. Cycle so that you're connected with your breath. And just noticing once again, if you ever need to take that out, exhale in the time. And then set back to a neutral spine from your hands and knees position so that you don't feel that you're dipping in the lower back, you're lengthening your tailbone all the way back. And then set your left foot back. Come on to the ball foot. Seal it behind you. Reach your opposite right arm straight forward. So arm and leg reach away from one another. And then keeping your spine long without letting the back body sag at all. Feel like you're hugging baby to belly. Start to slowly float that left foot up off the mat. Flex the foot so that the heel maybe hits about hip height and you're pressing the heel away from the back body. Reaching your right arm away. And then you're lengthening in both directions. Take another 2 breaths here, in and out through the nose. And then when you're ready, lower hand and back to mat. And take a moment if you need to pause and come off of that left wrist, rotate it around anytime you need to do that. When you feel ready, set your right foot back. On the ball of the foot so the leg is straight, and then extend the left arm forward. And left arm, rotate the palm in, make sure the shoulder is hunched forward, shoulder in the side. And then long spine as you slowly find that balance to lift the right foot, flexing the foot so the toes point down. And then press into that right hand and left shin for stability, and then reach a little longer through the legs as you extend to front and back of the another inhale. And then lower back to hands and knees and exhale. In a moment to shake out the other wrist. Let's take this version of down dog today. Take your hands about maybe almost as wide as your mat. If it feels good, you can maybe rotate the fingers out a little bit. And then take your knees wider than your hips. Curl your toes. Lift your knees up and come into a very open down dog. So it's not a very long down dog, but it's a very wide one. So your hands are wider than shoulders, feet are wider than hips. You can even walk your feet out as wide as you want. Start to bend one knee and then the other. So that you're kind of pedaling the feet, stretching out the calf muscles perhaps. Each time you straighten one leg, try to sink that heel further for the back of the mat. And it feels nice to wag the hips side to side as you do this, especially if you have a very wide stance. That may feel nice to get that movement in the lower part of the body. And then eventually still the movement. Keep the knees at least 2 inches bent or more if it feels better. And then try to press the ground away with both hands. Try to stretch the hips further toward the back of the room, as if someone had their hands on your hips and was pulling them back. In a normal situation, I may do that for you, but I'm not going to do that today. So using that length through the torso as you press the hips back, pressing the thighs back, even if the knees are quite bent. All right, and then slowly take the knees down. We're going to take child's pose. So traditional child's pose, sit to the heels, or more comfortable, more space for the belly, keep your butt up in the air, and then cross the forearms, and then rest the forearms. Or either variation of child's pose. First trimester, traditional probably feels fine. Third trimester, butt in the air may feel a little bit better for more space. So just finding a nice kind of restful posture as you just allow yourself to melt forward into your mat. And then very slowly lift the forehead. And you're going to make your way back up to hands and knees. And then go ahead and then draw the knees in a bit if they got very wide. And then come back to that even tabletop for a moment. And then go ahead and step your left foot back once again. And then this time, I'm going to have you spin the foot down. Now, so that the toes point over the chest for. Lift your right shin a little bit, and then ankle that over to the right. So it's a little bit more, so you have a wider base, set it down. And then walk your right hand forward or off to the side a bit. So you're going to take your left hand up to your hip and come into a modified side bend. So the reason I'm having you kind of have your shin angle and your foot further apart is it has a wider foundation. It's a little easier for the balance. So if you do feel balance, I guess you can always take your left hand down and adjust where the bottom right hand is. Reach your left hand up to the ceiling when you feel stable, and then try to stretch the fingers to touch the ceiling flat. Push into that back left foot a lot. Keep that anchored. And then as you look up at the top hand, turn it forward to face the front of the room, and then extend it all the way to the front of the room. Just a big side stretch. You feel very long along that whole top left side of the body. Notice if the shoulders started to creep forward up towards the front of the room. Draw them back. Continue breathing. And then inhale, reach that arm all the way up again. Look towards the ground as you exhale. Take that hand down. And then lower that chin back onto the mat. And then even yourself out so that you're in your tabletop. And then do a little brief cat and cow to kind of bring things back to that good movement. And then settling back into neutral. Go ahead and step your right foot back. And then spin it all the way down. Lift the bottom shin and angle it behind you a bit and set it down so you have a wider base. And then leaning into your left hand, walking it out a bit if you want. Take your right hand to your hip first so you can open over for that side. And then see if you can kind of feel that the hips are almost stacked a little bit on top of one another so your top doesn't move forward. So you can keep the chest open and the shoulders also stacked. And then when you're ready, reach that right hand up. And then with that bottom hand pressing, try to not lock the elbow, bend and straighten that arm muscle. So turn the top forward, press the right foot firmly as you extend that right arm over here, reaching for the throat. Again, don't let that shoulder push up. So shoulders draw all the way to the ears. And then reaching as you lengthen through that top side body. And then with your inhale, stretch it all the way back up. Look down toward the mat. Exhale. Slowly make your way back to hands and knees, hands down, knee down. And then go ahead and come back to a little bit of cat and cow. Hi there.
Hi.
And there's a class going on right now.
Sorry.
There's a class going on right now.
Do you have a schedule?
There should be one right up the front, that yellow piece of paper.
Are they for both places
Yes,
or?
for both things. Yep, that yellow piece of paper is our schedule. All right, settling back into a neutral spine. All right, let's do this. Walk your hands forward a little bit now. Take your knees wider, curl your toes, lift your knees up, come into a down dog, make a little bit more space in the hands and feet, and then feel that you're pulling your hips back, back, back. Right, then you're going to slowly walk your hands back to your feet. So take your time as you crawl your hands toward the back of your mat, and make sure your feet are nice and wide, but they're parallel. And then once you get there, soften the knees a bit, clasp your elbows. And if it feels nice, just do a little gentle swaying side to side or nodding the head. If it doesn't make you feel good to do that, you can just be still or you can come up if you need to. And then release the clasp of the arms. And then place your hands one at a time onto your thighs. So keep the knees a little bit soft. And then feel like you're pushing onto the thighs. Stretch the crown of the head straight forward toward the front of the room and try to find that nice flat back. Draw the shoulders back. So the tailbone moves back, top of the head stretches forward, and your spine is very long. And then exhale, go ahead and fold slowly back down. Now do it again. Maybe place your hands to your shins this time. If that's too low and it makes the background, you can take it to the thighs again. But see if you can find that same length. Maybe even shift a little more weight into the balls of the feet as you pull your upper body forward. And then exhale and fold back down. And bend your knees quite a bit. Now just let yourself slowly roll up to stand. So take your time, just hanging forward as you eventually roll all the way upright. Then once you're standing all the way upright, feet are parallel. Take a moment and bring the hands to the hips. And then keep that little teeny micro bend in the hips. And then just notice the weight in the feet. So try now not to shift too far forward. You try to even favor the heels a little bit more than you normally would during pregnancy because gravity, baby pulls you forward. So with a little bit more weight evenly planted and the knees just a little bit soft, so you can let the tailbone release behind you. So your lower back maybe have a little more space. And then see if you can lift the back ribs up off the base a bit. Draw the shoulders back. Nice tall stance. Take the hands off the hips. Stretch the arms out and up. Palms to the butt. Reach to the ceiling. Look up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Stretch that arm straight to the ceiling without the shoulders inching up. And then as you exhale, slowly tip over to the right. So shoulders down the back, but the chest still face forward. Keep those feet evenly planted. And then inhale, back to center. Grabbing the other wrist, stretch it straight up in the face. Exhale, tip it over to chest. Shoulders on the knees. And then inhale, back upwards. Exhale, release the wrist, stretch the arms out. Bring the hands to the hips. Step your feet outside the mat. Nice wide stance. Turn the toes out. So 45-degree angles. Give the knees a little bit of a bend and make sure they're tracking right over the toes. So adjust the stances a bit. And then take the hands from the hips. Start to slide them down the thighs. And then sit the hips low, lean forward a bit, but keep the spine long without pushing forward. So draw the shoulders back, press some weight onto the hands. So you're really straightening your arms and just pressing the top of the thighs. Stretch your chest forward, pull a little further forward, and then as you exhale, you're going to twist to the right and let your left shoulder drop to center. The knees pointing to the toes. And then inhale slowly back to the middle. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees stay tracking with the toes. Just turn the upper body. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder drops to center, upper body twists to the left. Inhale, center. One more time each side. Twist to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Now drop the seat a bit more. Lift the chest and the shoulder back, make the hands light, reach the arms out, drop the tailbone down a bit more, slowly lower. Turn the palms up, press to stand, inhale, reach for the ceiling. And then exhale, bring that to the right. And then bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees, and slowly just walk the feet back so that they're just a little wider than the hips, so they're parallel once again. And then take the hands to the heart. And then as you inhale, circle the arms all the way out and up. Reach and look up. Now with your exhale, hands to the heart, bend the knees, lean forward, and come all the way back down to a forward fold so you're hanging over your legs. Take an inhale, place the hands to the shins or the thighs and stretch forward, find that long spine. Exhale, fold back down. Bending the knees, drop your seat, sweep your arms straight forward and up, come into a wide-legged chair pose, shoulders into sockets, and then knees point over the toes, drop the seat a little bit more, feel the strength of the thighs. Press to stand as you inhale, reach up. Exhale as the hands come back to the heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, feel half suns of these, arms reach up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, melt, lean forward, come back down. Inhale, stretch halfway up, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, fold the knees over the legs again. Bend the knees, drop the seat, arms forward, and up, chair pose. Exhale, go even deeper. Then press to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to front center. Inhale again, and arms circle up to the ceiling. Exhale, melt it forward, folding it. Inhale, stretch halfway up. Exhale, folding down. Bending the knees. Inhale, drop the seat. Uttanasana chair. Exhale, dig deeper. Use the strength of the legs. Inner thighs contract. Press to stand. Straight legs reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale again. Slow the arms to the side. Exhale, melt it forward all the way down. Inhale, stretch halfway up. Folding on the exhale now, all the way down. Bend the knees a bit. Take the fingertips to the ground. Start to crawl them forward. Bend the knees a bit more. Plant the hands and walk your hands forward to the downward facing dog. Take your time, just easing your hands away from your feet. Keeping your feet at the back of the mat. And then once you have that down dog, press with the hands, lift the hips higher, and then push the thighs back. Keep the knees bent, but keep the legs engaged. Pull the hips further back. And then from here, you're going to take an inhale and come forward to a plank pose. Maybe wiggle the feet a little further back. And then once you have that, take the knees slowly down to your modified plank. Looks like you're about to do a little modified push-up with your shoulders up right above your wrists. And then you're just leaning your chest forward a bit. And then you can just stay right here, just work the strength of the arms. Or if you'd like a little bit more work, you're going to lift the feet, cross the shins. Lean forward a bit, little mini push-up. Press the ground away, come back up, lift, uncross, recross the feet. Lean forward, little mini push-up. Just building some upper body strength. So you can take it slow if you need to. Tiny bend if you want, bigger bend if you want to work a little further, just using the strength of the arms. So knees down takes more work for the upper body than the core, which we don't need to strengthen the core right now. There will be plenty of time for that after the baby is born. So just little mini push-ups just to strengthen. You can always stop when you need to. I recommend just little bends, just to feel that you can press the ground away. Once you've done that a few times, go ahead and uncross, set the shins down, walk the hands back a bit, widen the knees, take another little child's pose, or just lower the forearms and quads if you prefer harder to stand or upright. And if you need to kind of lift and maybe rotate the wrists a little bit, if you feel like placing weight on the hands gets to be a little bit much. I know sometimes carpal tunnel can happen when you're pregnant, even if you normally didn't have issues with it before pregnancy. Just keep in mind as your body grows and changes, all of these hormones are going to affect your body in somewhat unusual ways. So just take it day by day, notice any changes, notice any modifications that you need to do to make your body better. Taking breaks are always great. So if you feel ready to come back up to hands and knees, go ahead and just make your way back up to a tabletop position. And then have the knees right underneath the hips, toes uncurl. And then you're going to walk your hands back to your feet. And you're going to come up to kneeling. So you're going to come to kneeling with your knees right underneath your hips. And just pause, hands on the hips. Just find a little more length through the upper body with this posture. And then lifting your right knee, you're going to step the foot to the side. So you're going to create create a 90-degree angle with that leg. So the knee is above the ankle, the toes to the side. And then you're going to place the back of your right hand right to the inner knee. And then you're going to lift through the upper body and let it face square toward the front. And then lengthen even more, inhale, then start to press the hand and knee together, and use that action to slightly twist to the left. You're not going to get very far, you're going to just feel a nice little stretch. Make sure the knee doesn't push the hand forward, just a little turning to that side of the foot. Then reach your left arm over to the left. Turn the palm up. Inhale, sweep it up to the ceiling as high as it will go. Once it can't go any higher, then bend your right elbow. Rest the top of the form to the top of the thigh without relaxing down. Reach higher to the left hand and then stretch it over here toward the right side of the rope. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Push that form into the thigh to keep some space into that side of the rope so you don't feel like you're collapsing over the thigh. Maybe look underneath the top arm. And then inhale, come back up. Take the hands to the hips. And then take that knee back down. Switching sides. Lift the left knee, step the foot to the side, keeping right hip above knee, and then left knee above ankle. Toes point to the side. I like to call this Captain Maureen close to the side. But what about Captain Maureen? Right hand to the inside of the knee. And then as you press the two together, lift to the upper body, and then just face the upper body forward. And then get a little taller from the bottom knee through the top of the head, and then take that subtle, very subtle twist to the right. So you can keep the back of the hand and knee pressing into one another so that neither one bends. Once you feel that little stretch in the inner left thigh, reach your right arm to the right, toward the palm up. As you inhale, stretch it really hard to the ceiling. Once you've got enough height, then release the pressing of hands to knee, and then take the form to the thigh. Once again, try to just press down to keep space on that bottom side. And begin to stretch the top arm further over to the left. Look underneath the arm. And then stamping that left foot down, lengthening to the right side, drawing the shoulders further down the back. And then inhale all the way upright. Take the hands back to the hips. And then slowly take that knee back down. And then reach behind your back. Interlace your fingers. And then start to brush your knuckles down the back body. So if you're trying to move your tailbone toward the backs of the knees, maybe get the arms a little straighter. Lift the chest up a little higher. Roll the shoulders behind you to the head back and look to the ceiling. If it feels nice and you're able to get the hands a little further away from the back body than hard without arching for that. So you want to keep space there. You get a nice little shoulder stretch. Arms reach further away from the back body. The chest lifting up. And then unclasp the hands. Reach the arms out, palms up. Stretch it to the ceiling once again, look up. And then exhale, pull the hands down to the front. And then leaning forward. Take your hands back onto the mat. And once your hands are down, walk them forward just a bit. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees up, come back into a downward facing dog. Press those hips flat. And then this time, start to walk your feet forward to your hands. Just slowly, slowly, slowly. Take them as wide as you need. And then eventually, once they get closer, turn the toes out. And I'm going to try to come down into a squat. So start to bend the knees. Drop the seat. You can lift the heels if it gets too much, or you can place something under them. If you're able to get the elbows inside of the knees, press the hands together. You can also exactly what you're doing, the arms on thighs. So you're sitting low into that squat, dropping the seat, and then either pressing forearms to thighs or pressing elbows into knees and squeezing the hands together. And then start to press into the feet even more. Use the strength of the legs. Press to stand, inhale, strive all the way up. Reach for the ceiling, open the palms. Pull. And then let's reach one hand higher, pull the other one down. Continue with that. Reach up, pull down, look the elbows off. Big side stretches. And reach both arms up, stretch up even higher. Keep the head back, look up. And then exhale, draw the hands bent. Take the hands to the hips. And then turn the toes forward. So come near the front of the mat. So you're not over there walking through the mat. Hands on hips. And then you want to step your left foot back. So walk it back enough that there's maybe about at least 3 feet of space between them, but keep the feet as wide as you need. So your back foot's going to be at about 45 degrees. Your front toes are staying forward. So we're going to just this wide-legged warrior one. So if you're familiar with warrior one in the regular yoga class, it's a narrow stance, it's heel to heel. When you're pregnant, that's not good. So your warrior one for pregnancy is going to be hips distance or even wider. I had a very wide warrior one when I was pregnant. So once you have your feet about hips distance or wider, back foot 45, front toes forward. Bend your front knee forward, but don't lean forward or let the pelvis drop. Try to keep it from the pelvis. So with your hands holding the pelvis, encourage them for the pelvis to lift up. Then keep that knee pointing forward. The more you do that, it starts to slowly stretch the back foot. If you're not feeling enough, why didn't you feel a little more? Maybe the front toes forward or shift the back foot. And then try to square your chest and torso straight forward. And try to get the hips a little more. Then take the hands off the hips and do practice arms. Draw the forearms together in front of you. And cross your left elbow over your right. Once you cross them, try to lift the elbows further. Move the forearms further away from your face. Maybe bend your leg further, but press your back really hard. And then uncross the arms, stretch them out. Turn the palms up, inhale, reach up, you can look up. And then exhale, take the hands out. Bring your hands to your hips. Then, very slowly, pop the back foot in a bit. Eventually, take it to the front of the mat. Take the other side. So feet start off hips distance or even wider. Step right foot back. And then take your time, kind of adjust the stance. If it didn't get far enough back, you can front toes forward. So make sure the back foot stays 45 and the front toes stay forward so that when you start to bend the feet, goes over the toes. So keeping the legs straight for a moment, try to get the hips a little more square. And the front of the pelvis to seem more upright. It's going to want to drop, especially if the pelvis are tight, like most of us they are. So So square the chest and the shoulders forward. Like even bring the hips along the back. Then as you start to bend the front knee, try to keep the front of the bones where they are so they don't start to drift down. And you don't start to launch the back. So you sink that knee forward. And as you press and firm that back heel, you'll form a stretch along the back. And when you're ready, take the hands off the hips. Practice arms. Elbows are shoulder height, chest is lifted. Arms together in front, right crosses over left. Wrapping. You can always do a shoulder hug if eagle wrap feels too tense. Lift the elbows. Move the forearms further from your face without leaning forward. Bend your left knee more. Press the outer edge of your back, right foot. Keep all of that. Keep breathing. Uncross the arms when you're ready. Slowly stretch them out. Palms up, reach for the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Of your warrior one. Lean forward a bit, and then start to lift the back heel. Just carefully walking forward step. Alright. Moment. Feet around a bit. Let's turn to the side. Have you face the left side of the room. And then take your hands back to your hips. This time you're going to step your feet even wider. So this is probably even wider than warrior one. Since it's an external pose, it's a little easier to keep apart. You're going to bend. Bend the right knee. And then turn from the hip socket to now put the knee and toes forward. Now start to peel your back foot before you walk. So the toes come in a bit. Maybe the heel lifts and slides a little further back. This time you're going to align your right heel with the arch of the back foot. So your heel to arch, and then you're going to sink that right knee forward straight ahead. And then take your hands from your hips up to your rib cage. Pull the ribs. If they're turning forward, spin them back to face this side of the room. Keep lift the ribs up, breathe into the hands, stretch the arms out, relax the shoulders. Look forward past your right fingertips. Bend your right knee a little bit more. Let's do dynamic warrior two. Press into your right foot, straighten the leg, float the arms up, reach the ceiling, maybe look up. Exhale, bend, look forward. Two. Once again, inhale with the breath, lift, reach. Exhale, open it, bend, forward. Two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, two. Inhale again, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Stay with this knee bend. Reach your right hand forward like you're trying to touch the front wall. Bend the elbows onto the thigh. Without collapsing it, press firmly. Put your left arm shape to the ceiling, side angle. Keep the right knee bending. Keep the right forearm pushing to the top of the thigh, reach the left hand higher. Maybe if it feels good, lift the top palm and take it overhead. Nice big stretch. Press the back heel a lot. Then reach that arm back to the ceiling using the strength of the legs. Inhale, press to stand, come back up. Take the hands to the hips. Turn your right toes forward, parallel the feet once again to your back to neutral. Then standing nice and tall. Bend the left knee. Point the toes to the back of the room. Peel your right toes in a bit. Move the heel behind you. Make sure your heel to arch. Let that left knee bend. Then work the hands up higher, higher, hold the ribs. Lift the ribs and spin them back to face me. Even up the trunk of the body, keep the knee pointing forward. Reach the arms front to back. Draw the shoulders out of the ears. Look towards the back of the room. Bend your left knee just to reach further. And then inhale, press the legs straight. Reach the arms up. Taller. Exhale, sink into that knee, roll towards the back. Inhale, move with the breath. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, bend again. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two, keep the both of the body to sleep. Reach your left arm forward, try to touch the back palm. Then the elbow, arm to thigh. Stretch the right hand up, try to touch the ceiling tiles. Stay connected to your back, right heel. Keep the left knee bending. Keep breathing, maybe take the top arm overhead. Tricep reps toward the right ear and then extend long so you're creating one line from the right heel through the fingertips to the top of your head. And then float that hand straight up, press into both feet, and then slowly come to stand. Hands to hips, point the left toes towards the side, feet, and soften the knees. Slide the heels and the toes in and just walk. Take a moment. You want to rotate the ankles or shake out the legs. A little bit of movement. All right, let's face forward. And go ahead and I don't know what happened there. Okay. Right. Okay, so go ahead and take your hands to your hips and then sit your feet outside of your mat. So this is what we do the dynamic squats. Last kind of standing pose before you come back down. So feet outside the mat, toes turned out in. Try that little bend, just make sure that it's kind of toe. It's a little kind of soft, buoyant action. And then go ahead and stretch the arms out. Turning the palms up. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. With your exhale, bend your knees over your toes, bend the elbows, rock your seat straight down without leaning forward. Come into the squat. Keep your chest lifted. Stretch the arms out, palms up. Inhale, press to stand, reach up. With the breath, exhale, bend into that squat. Take the arms out, push to stand, inhale. Do this a few times. Work with your breath, and then decide how much work your legs want. If they don't need too much, just go with knee bend is fine. If you want to really strengthen, go deep. See how low you can drop the hips. Maybe to about the same level as your knees. And then each time you press to stand, reach up nice and high, gain some length, and then return to the squat. So work with your breath. Yes, nice, full deep breaths. And this is a place where if you feel you want that open mouth, exhale. Think of all these movements as preparation for building strength, building breath awareness, building endurance. All right, next time you come into that squat, hold it for 2 breaths. Feel those legs working. And then stretch them slowly. Press to stand, take your time. Push the hands to the ceiling straight with the legs. Reach up. And then exhale. Bring your hands to your hips. And then very slowly take your feet close together. This toe as you walk. Okay? All right, let's do this. Have us just a little bit of a stretch. And come back to the mat, hands and knees. But take your time getting down, however it's best for you to get back to the mat. And then keep in mind if you need something under the hands, if you have a box and you want to use that to relieve the hands, you can do that. So you're going to lift your right knee. You're just going to step it off to the side. And you're going to start to slide or wiggle it forward so that it's outside of your right hand. So now that you have that, you're going to maybe walk the hand a little further forward. Have the foot as wide as you need here in space. So you're coming into this lizard lunge stretch. So if you're already feeling a hip flexor stretch in the back leg, that's great. If you need to go lower, you're going to bend your front knee more and release your back lower to the ground. You're feeling a little bit of stretch. All right. And then you can choose to stay here, or if you want to get a little bit more here as well, you can lift the inner arch of that foot and roll to the outside of the foot. And you can even, if you want to go further, just going to gently press that right hand into the inner thigh to push it away. You'll feel a little bit more of an outer hip stretch as well as the back leg. And then there's different options here. If you're like, I'm not feeling it, you can please come down to the forearms. That can be too low because if it starts to make you kind of punch forward and move back, that may be too much. You can always elevate, yeah, you need to have something under the hands. And then you can choose to just kind of stay still, or if it feels nice, you can very slowly circle the hips. Like you're drawing very subtle, tiny circles on the ground with your toes, just like tracing the circle. You're just moving slowly, just kind of letting the pelvic area open up and stretch a little bit more. So very slow, very small circles. And you can always reverse direction. Eventually still that movement, and then take your time as you start to walk your right foot back. Take it wide enough, just kind of wiggle it back, start to lift that back left hip and shift it back a bit. Walk further, take your hands a little closer to you, and then once you're back enough without doing any jerking, just very slowly slide that back. So especially when we get into these deeper stretches, we want to go into and come out of it slowly. Because injury happens when you're like, you've probably already experienced that. Like, oh, I moved too quickly. I forgot I'm pregnant. I can't move as quickly as I used to. So when you're ready, you lift the left knee. You just set the foot to the side. And then take your time. If you need to kind of boost it, you can always take the left hand up, help to wiggle it forward. So you're going to work your way into this wide lunge. So the foot should stay outside the hands. Moving wider, the hands are inside the foot. And then you can kind of play with it. You don't want the knee to go past the ankle. You can have the ankle past the knee, that's fine. And then it may feel better to walk the foot even wider. It may feel good to kind of lift the inner arch and almost let the knee drop out of the way. So you can kind of play with what feels best for you. And then just make sure your hips aren't popping way up in the air. The goal is to go a little bit lower so that you can feel that back leg is extending and you're going to feel a flexor stretch. And then you can decide if you want to be on hands, on blocks, forearms, whatever you need. So once you're in some variation of the lunge where you're feeling a stretch, then if you want to start that slow movement of rotating around, you're tracing a tiny circle. You're going the other way as well. Eventually finding that stillness, and then very slowly making your way back to that knee. So just take your time as you walk the foot back, no rush. And eventually you get hands a little closer towards you, give yourself some room. Sit Put it in a good position where you can take the knee down, move it back to the mat, and then from hands and knees, either do a little cat and cow, stretch the spine a bit, or if it feels nice, wag the hips as well, or circle. It's just whatever movement can I come back from those deeper stretches. And as you come back to neutral, lifting your shins, point them to the left, the lower left. Walk your hands over toward the right knee a bit more. You're going to come to sit onto your right hip, knees bent, lower legs. Once you're seated, adjust your seat. Make sure you're comfortable. You can move this foot out if you feel better, or just keep the thighs over. So find the comfortable seats. You can sit upright, favoring the right more. We're just going to take another nice little stretch here. Place the hands to the knees, sit up tall. So without leaning to the side at all, you're going to lengthen through the upper body and then just rotate to the right. Once you've done that, cross your left hand to the right knee. And then right arm can either press the ground behind you, or if it feels nice, you can wrap it behind your back. If that is what's going to call it to the opposite hip, and use that to turn. So one may feel better than the other for you. You might like the wrap, you might prefer to be able to prefer the back hand to pop up. Make a nice open twist here. If it feels okay for the neck, turn your head very slowly to move towards the back a little bit more. Make sure it's not straining, and gently stretching the side of the neck. And then turning the head, just that very slowly back to the forward towards the front. And then maybe sort of any amount over that left shoulder. Turning the head the other way, switching to the other side. And then exhale, unwind. Let's go ahead and lean back a bit. This time, just start to slide the leg back from underneath, roll to the left hip, and switch sides, just reversing what we did more the left hip, finding that comfortable seat, adjusting to whatever feels right for the body. And then hands to knees for a moment, find this vertical line of the upper body lifts tall, and then turning on the axis of the spot. So turning from the bottom to the top over to the left without leaning, and then crossing that hand over, and then either pressing behind you or wrapping back on. And the chest is nice and lifted and open, and then turns maybe first to look toward the back shoulder. And ever so slowly, just head glancing forward. And we'll do that much. Line on the exhale. And then let's bring the legs out from behind. And then sit with your legs crossed. Take a little hip stretch here. So crossing at the shins, try to keep the feet a little bit flexed, the feet outer feet don't roll up. You want to feel like the soles of the feet are pressing away from the center. And then you can move the shins just a little further away from the pelvis, so you have some space. Hands to knees, sit upright, inhale, lengthen, shoulders back. Exhale, get the flat back and start to tip forward toward the cross leg. So avoid avoid the sensation to want to hunch over the legs. Keep the spine long, shoulder, line down back, and then maybe take the hands in front of you, and then just continue that movement, that subtle tipping forward, so that you keep the spine long. You're isolating a stretch for the outer hips. Get crossed legs is not enough. You're not feeling a stretch. You can stack the function like that. So if you need to get a little deeper, you're not feeling it up by crossing. That's an option too. So it's more of a prayer log. So ankles and knees are pretty much stacked. Then once again, you're just walking the hands out in front of you, just enough that you're feeling that you're keeping the back of your pelvis more anchored. You're working a stretch from the outer hips as you crawl the hands away. Then walk hands back towards you. And then switch the leg that is in front or on top. Then once again, sitting up so that your feet press away. Make sure that the shins are as far from the, your pelvis as you can get them. That gives more space for the belly. It also gets a little bit more of that targeted position for the hip stretch. So hands to knees, the tall to start, find a long spine. Keep it as you tip forward. Exhale. Slowly just easing forward with your breath. Take it step by step so that you find that point where you feel just a really good stretch and you pause and breathe. And then maybe the breath comes from just a little further. Ready, slowly back to the legs, back upright, and then more stretch with the head and uncross and just let your legs stretch forward. Have your feet at least hips distance. You can have them a little bit wider if you need more space, especially for the trimester, you may need more room. But the legs are relatively stretched forward, so it's not a wide space. Then you're going to flex the feet, point the toes up. And then inhale, circle the arms all the way up and reach for the ceiling. And then exhale, slowly stick foot, stretch along the back body. Then when you can't reach any further forward, take the hands down. Toes are available, grab them. If not, grab the calves, the ankles, some part of the legs, some leverage. And then feel like you're pulling that toward the outer hips and the chest forward. And then with every breath, keep holding a little further. You can also do this if the feet are unavailable to a belt or a strap or a towel, something with metal if you want to use that. Maybe draw the chin toward the chest, push it back with the neck, go long across the back body. And just breathe more slow, smooth breaths so that you're slowing things down. Very gently, you release whatever you're holding back to sit. 4, Shavasana, since we don't really have all the posture what we do, if you would like to lie onto your side, anything that's not flat on your back, or if you prefer to just kind of remain seated for Shavasana, seated meditation is fine. Other options are to lie on your side, or if you're at home and you have something to lay angled upon. Normally in class we have a bolster and a long set that up. However, also not something that we want to use right now, especially if it's used by other people. So the side that's going to work best for you laying onto your left side, if that's comfortable. Or like I said, if you want to remain seated, you can even come to a wall and sit your back against the wall so you have a little more support. So for the next 2 to 3 minutes, I encourage you to once again find stillness. So with your body a bit more relaxed, start to just notice any sensations, any kind of gripping that you may still be doing, any kind of holding or tensing of the body, and then send your breath to those spots that may have a little more trouble letting go. Let your breath calm you and guide you. If you want to take one last open mouth exhale, whatever gets you into that calmer space, so the body can be at rest, the mind can be at ease, and you can allow it to just be still for the next. So we're start to wiggle first a bit. Your fingers wiggle. Maybe rotate ankles and wrists around to start to bring more movement back in. And then taking your time when you are ready, slowly press your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Once you're upright, take one hand over your low belly, resting over baby's home. Place your other hand over your heart. With your eyes closed, put up tall, feel that connection to your breath, your body, your baby. And simply transfer the hands together in front of the heart, palms pressing together, sitting up a little taller as you inhale. Let your heart lift to your hands. As you exhale, humbly bow the head toward the fingers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Namaste. You're welcome. Thank you at home. Even more. All right. I hope everyone stays healthy and safe and hydrated. Have a great weekend.